last time you guys played them. Yeah, just it felt like that game was a lot like this last game. Like you guys just didn't have energy in that pop. I remember you saying, just what sort of comes to mind from that game?
Yeah, the biggest thing in the first half, it was, fight back and forth, 2-point lead at halftime. We were right in the game. Second half, 23 points off turnovers. And so it's been a big kind of Achilles heel for us is the turnover piece. We work on it every day to try to clean it up, and we've got to do a better job at it. And when we do it, we play, you're getting 8 to 10 more shots per game, which is obviously would be a luxury and really help us.
You mentioned turnovers.
Yep.
You're going to have turnovers.
Yep.
But it's the unforced turnovers
Yeah.
that seem to kill you.
Yeah.
What can you do on that?
You just got to work on it every day. We work on it every day fundamentally, footwork, decision making, all those things that play. Colorado, you saw the last 5 minutes how their pressure bothered us. We've been working on that, try to recreate those scenarios over and over and over, get our guys more confident to what to do, how we can attack that, and just got to get better. The guys are working hard.
I sense sometimes with Braxton that he plays a little more passive, concerned about getting in foul trouble. Are you noticing that too?
Yeah, sometimes he does. But he went from a guy averaging, 13 minutes a game or 12 minutes a game to now playing 34, 35. And then he has some success, and now teams are double teaming him on all the catches, against Utah. It's like the greatest compliment, right? And the one thing about playing basketball is, teams now, everybody scouts. And so Braxton gets 8 lobs against so-and-so. He's a great rim runner. We're finding him. Then they start doing what? They start adapting. They start changing. So now they're forcing our guards to do what? Finish at the rim. We've got to get better at that. The start of the Utah game, we missed a couple layups. These are certain situations. The game is always changing. You might think that you're a one-on-one post guy, you're unbelievable. Next thing you know, 2 guys are running at you. And then not only running at you at the front, now they're coming on the back. Now they're digging on their dribble. And so that's part of the development. And so, I'm really excited about Braxton, not only how much he's gotten better. Game's going to change for him. It's going to be a little bit more there and make it more difficult because he's playing really well. And so we've got to help him adapt to the different situations. And just like the freshmen are playing more minutes. Now they're being put into more stressful situations. Now they've got to be able to not be they're always fearless, which is a great thing. Now they have to be more disciplined in terms of the decision making, footwork, and understanding that moment. And the only way you can get that, you can replicate it, you can do it until you're in that situation. I've mentioned that Top Gun reference, the original one where when he went down and Goose, died and he comes back and you had the most fearless pilot start to become passive. We don't want that. But with that, he just kept saying, keep putting him out there. You got to keep putting him out there. He needs to keep doing it. And for the freshmen, they make mistakes, but they're really talented, and they're just going to keep getting better and better.
How has sort of Braxton, though, embraced that role that you guys can't have him kind of have the game that he had last game? It's important for him to.
Yeah.
He just can't.
Well, him on the court for us, Percy, is huge. He's again, whatever. He's the guy. I remember when Isaiah Stewart played, and in some games because he's so physical and big, teams just are like, what? He's, you go from 14 minutes, now you're playing 35. He had him and Frank really had a great combination together, and now there's asked more of him, and he's done a heck of a job. Staying out of foul trouble, trying to be, locked into how different teams are trying to attack. Is it a 1-3-1? Is it a 2-guard? There's so many things that are going through his mind. But when, we play ASU the first time, he plays 14 minutes, he gets 13 fouls. We're not going to be the best team we can be with him playing 14 minutes. We're not going to be the best team we can be with him going 0 for 2 or whatever he was against Utah and not having an impact. He's been a big part of, him and Frank were a big part of what our, going into the season, what we were going to do. We obviously lost Frank, and he's had to have a bigger weight on his shoulders, and it's hard. It's hard for the consistency, is what I'm saying. But when he's good, different team.
Do you want him to pass out of the double teams, or to figure it out, or to go quicker through double teams?
You know, it's all, and again, it's, we work on, you want to extend it, and you know it, like, listen, when a guy gets double teamed, it's the greatest advantage for your offense, because now you're playing 4 versus 3 if executed properly. And so that helps everybody else. And so Braxton's been an exceptional passer out of the double team for the most part. And again, all this is new to him. You know, if you look at his improvement from his foul shooting, if you would have came to practice at the beginning of the year and said, this guy's going to shoot 70% or whatever it is from the foul line, you'd all sit there and going, I'll bet you, you know, 12 dinners at so-and-so, at John Howie. You know, like you'll go hard. That kid has worked so hard, and the coaching staff's done a really good job of really helping him improve. And, you know, we want him to obviously to go, you know, 12 for 13 from the field and have 22 rebounds and blocks. The consistency is what you want from him, and teams are changing how they're defending him. That's hard. It's hard.
This is a team that was kind of shrouded in mystery, I think, before the year
Yeah,
started.
yeah, yeah.
All the new faces
Yeah.
you had, the players you lost. Here we are, halfway through the conference.
Yeah.
4-6,
Yeah.
12-9 overall.
Yeah.
Just curious, where do you think you stand versus what you expected before the year?
Do you know what I believed? I believed at the beginning of the year, healthy. I think we had a chance. Like I really believe, and I believe right now we've had a lot of change. We've had 8 different starting lineups. We've had all those things. With everybody healthy, I really believe that we would be in the top 3 or 4 of the league competitively. And with that being said, even when Noah went down after the first whatever, we adapted. Other guys started to perform, and then, you know, the two-headed monster was really exciting. You know, and like, you know, some of the zone, you were like, geez, it was kind of an experiment. You know, we didn't know we could do it, but then when we did it, we were like, oh my God, that looks really good. And that chemistry started to bond, and that energy. And so, yeah, obviously we wish we were, you know, 10-0 right now in league. We've had some good moments. We've had some bad moments where it looks like, oh my God, it looks like the wheels just came off. But the one thing I'll tell you about these guys is they've been really, really resilient. And they've really, you seeing Keon Brooks really starting to be really a more efficient player now. You start seeing Braxton me with a lot more responsibility, seeing moments. Now it goes back to, like anything, the consistency. You see Keon Minifield, like, you know, the ball handling has to improve, but they're being, you know, how good is Corin Johnson? And Corin Johnson was redshirting, and now he's shooting over 40% from the three-point line, needs to clean up his turnovers. So we've also, with all that adversity, we've also found some hidden gems.
Yeah.
And so we're really excited about that. Like, it's just now it goes back to the consistency.
When you get hit with those health issues, I mean, you have such high expectations
Yeah,
for the year.
yeah,
Obviously, there's a lot of
yeah,
years left. But
yeah.
What's that like, just getting hit with those?
You know what? It's sports.
Yeah.
You know, like you watch, it's like sometimes you can sit there and say, oh, poor me. It's happened to a lot of teams out there. And it goes back to, I think the hardest thing, but the most fun thing is, you know, coaching is, it's a constant puzzle. And in a perfect world, everybody stayed healthy. It's like, okay, great. It's not. And other guys have to develop, and why your player development system has to be good. And your coaches are constantly working with these guys. And so they get that opportunity, and they shine, and you become better. And then by the end of the year, you're playing at a high level. And so it's not easy, but I think that's the challenge. That's the fun. That's sitting there saying, well, you know, we've always had a chip on our shoulder here. We've had to. That's who we are. And, you know, it's keeping that chip fresh and sitting there saying, okay, you know, the doubters and all this other stuff, it's us in this room. We've proven that we can play at a high level. Now, can we do it consistently? And you're starting to see more consistent from certain players, but not a whole.
Yeah. Well, to that end, I mean, I think, you know, when you're visiting players
Yeah.
and trying to bring them here, I think the NCAA tournament is always
Yes.
in the background.
Yes.
That's always the goal.
Yeah.
That's, you know, every college kid's dream. To me, this seems with 2 winning teams coming here, one of them in the top 10.
Yep.
It seems like a big opportunity to position yourselves. Are you
It's
looking-
unbelievable.
Yeah, okay.
Are you kidding me? Like a week ago, you know, like literally our league is probably one of the strongest years since we've been here in 6 years, which is the greatest thing because they're all great opportunities. That's just the bottom line. So like in other conferences, like I forget, starting last week, was it 6 out of our next 7 games were net quad 1 opportunities. That didn't happen before. And so, we have one, I think it's against St. Mary's, and we've got one against Colorado when we just got at Colorado. And obviously that can change. But, to have, listen, I was sick as the coach here, the performance that we had against USC, UCLA. Because our fans, that's why we do it. And so it just gives you another great opportunity. To show that, these kids are working hard and they can play. And, our fans, we want them to have those moments, of seeing these guys perform, some of these guys local, how much work they put in. And so that's the exciting part of it. So yes, unbelievable week.
Got time for two more, guys.
Yeah, with Noah, I may get my games mixed up, but Stanford.
Yeah.
He had to sit out a little bit. It sounded like he was having some issues with the knee.
Yeah.
He came back against Cal.
Yeah.
Had a big game.
Yeah.
I thought he played well at Colorado.
Yes, he did.
And then I didn't think he played very well that following game against Utah.
Yeah.
Any relation there? Is his knee still bothering you?
I'm not going to get into specifics, but he was out for how long? 13 games. I don't even know the timeline. And the kid's like if he could play on one leg, he would. I'm going to leave it at that. And we, the thing what we missed with Frank that you get with Noah is that you get a grimy, tough chip on your shoulder, a lot of pride in the state. And so to say that he's, he practiced yesterday, he's practicing, but he's fighting through it. There's no question around it.
3 keys for the game.
We can't turn it over. The turnovers to touchdowns versus Arizona State is not good. We got to rebound the ball. We're getting teams to miss. Like against Utah, we got them to miss. They just had 19 points off second chance points, and then they were 11-0 on points off turnovers. It's that simple. And now again, they're going to come after us. That's who they are. That's great. Are we prepared? We've been working on it. We've been doing it. We're confident. We're decent from the foul line. People talk about offensively. Colorado was holding teams to 47 points a game. We went in there and we had 47 with 15 minutes to go in the game, and moving the ball in a tough environment. We've proven we can do it. Now it just goes back to that consistency. Can we do it night in and night out? Against Stanford here, 20 assists, only 12 turnovers. We were fast. We were getting down the court. You could see the potential. Now potential is one thing. Now it's the consistency is what we're fighting for.
Thanks, Coach.
Are you kidding me? Let's go.
What was the better top gun